Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today I'm going to be going over something a little bit different with you guys, and I recently sent off a knife to Victorinox to try their warranty service. Now this is my first ever experience with it and I wanted to share that experience with you guys. So I did have a 84mm Lumberjack, and you can see this is a little baggie I asked them to send back. I did say to them, anything you can't use again, please can you send it back, because I want to keep it to sort of keep the date with the knife of when it was manufactured. So you can see the original blade is, well, it's been used and abused. You can see you got the date here and the tang stamps. The scales are in pretty rough shape as well, like this one's cracked at the base here. For some reason the previous owner scratched off the shield, which was the hot stamped in, because these are economy scales. As you can see, there's no toothpick or tweezers in there either. You can see it's cracked up here too, just up here. And the liners, when I got them back, I didn't think they were in too bad a shape, but from the use of the person that had it before me, they're worn down really thin, especially the middle liner, or the space, or whatever you want to call it. It's worn down super thin and is absolutely filthy. But send it off to Victorinox. I'm going to put a load of dates of when things happened on the screen for you guys to see how long it sort of took. But when I originally contacted them, it was on the 25th of April this year. They quoted me a time of 10 to 12 weeks for it to be from when I sent it off to get to them to get back to me. Now, the total completion time was 9.5 weeks, so it's under that 10-week time. But honestly, from the job they did, I'd have been happy for them to keep it for a couple of months. They were fantastic. But anyway, I emailed them on the 25th of the 4th. And then the very next day on the 26th, they got back to me. So it only took them a day, considering how many emails they probably get at Victorinox to get back to me. They then provided me with the main dealer in the UK, which is Burton McCall. I dropped them an email. They gave me their address. I sent it off to them then on the 27th of April. On the 21st of the 5th, so of May, I had an email from Victorinox saying the knife was with them. They were currently working on it, or it was in the queue to be worked on, and they would then contact me when it was ready to be shipped back. From then, on the 20th of June, I had a phone call from Burton McCall's in the UK. They told me that the knife had been repaired under warranty, and there was a £9.98 charge for that sort of service, because they replaced the blade, and if you can see, they replaced quite a lot of things on the knife. Pretty much all they retained, as far as I can tell, was the saw and the back springs, because everything else, as you can see, was pretty much beaten and abused. Now, I wasn't entirely sure why they replaced the combo tool, but when I got it back to me, it has been hammered back into shape, so it looks like they tried to fix it. You can see there's tool marks just on the end there, but I guess they weren't happy with it, so they replaced it, and, you know, fair play to them. They've done a fantastic job. And then on the 3rd of July, the knife arrived back with me. And then this is what I was greeted with. So although, yes, it's the Lumberjack, but in 2015, they re-released the Lumberjack after it being discontinued as the Walker. So this technically has come back to me as a Walker, because it has the newer scales with the toothpick and the tweezers, whereas the Walker original model came with the hot stamped shield and no scale tools. But I'm thinking about replacing these scales for the original ones. If I can find some economy scales in a better nick than these, I will replace it with them, as I just think I want to keep it as a Lumberjack rather than a Walker, because that's what it is when I sent it off to them. But they've done a fantastic job. They provided me with brand new scales. They've cleaned up these springs. Honestly, they look brand new. When you look really close, it's kind of hard to see under the camera, but you can see there is a little bit of pitting on there and the odd scratch mark where they've not been able to get it out. But apart from that, flawless. So the Lumberjack then is an 84mm pattern. It's a 2-layer design with no back tools, and originally had no toothpick or tweezers. But you can see 84mm is right about the 3.25, 3.3 inch mark closed. You get the main blade on the front here. And of course, this is the newer style blade, whereas originally it had the 4-layer tang stamp with the cross touching the bow, which I believe is late 90s. I could be wrong. It's either late 90s or very early 2000s, but you can tell the difference of how much use these blades have had. There was no way of saving this. Could I have sharpened it myself and carried on using it? Yeah, of course. But I really wanted to try out their sort of forever warranty, and I've been really impressed with it. Edge, perfect. Honestly, there's nothing really to say about the quality control for Victorinox. They do a fantastic job. You get the combo tool on the back. So you've got the wire bender, cap lifter, you've got the small flathead screwdriver, and you can use this corner here as a posi drive as well. Half stop, brilliant walk and torque and snap. About a 6 on the pull to 6.5 to a 7 from the half stop. And same story really from the... It's not really a stop, but you can feel the resistance get more here where there's a bit more tension in it, and you get maybe up to a 6.5. Main blade length on an 84mm then is pretty much bang on the 2.5 inch mark, with a cutting edge of 2.2 inches at a push. And then the final tool on this for the Lumberjack is the saw. Now obviously this is the 84mm saw, with it being that sort of style. Tool length for that is, where are we? 2 3/4 inches, with the teeth being 1 to 2 1/4 inches of sort of cutting. So I have no issues with this knife being UK legal at all. And of course, I've become a really big fan of the 84mm without the back tools. Honestly, I don't use the corkscrew or the Phillips that much on the back. The Phillips isn't that great with it being on the back and you have this whole handle in the way. But I've really been loving this thing since it came back. They did such a good job. Basically had a brand new Lumberjack for £9.98 plus the £3 I think it cost me to post it to the rep for Victorinox here in the UK at Burton McCall's. When they came back then, it came back with this really nice sort of like plasticky sort of sheath. Is it the highest quality thing? No, but it kept the knife nice and safe for me on the way back. And I don't actually have any of the ones for this size. I only have the 58mm. I didn't actually know they made a larger size, but really nice little bit of extra kit on its way back. And I am very grateful that they kept all the bits and sent them back to me. You've got the original sort of lanyard hoop here, which you can see the original owner must have broken the keyring and they replaced it for this sort of little metal loop. Got the original liners, which of course are aluminium, and they are very, very used and abused. They are worn down crazy thin around the pivots. I don't know if you can work it out, but you can feel it when you run your fingers across where they've sort of rubbed. So it doesn't look like the previous owner used any sort of lubrication on that either, which is a bit strange, but I've had it replaced. They've done a fantastic job and I'm really pleased with what I received. I have the original blade with the tang, so I can keep a history of the date of this knife, although it technically now is a brand new knife. But yeah, honestly, Victorinox, the warranty is phenomenal. They were very quick to reply, very pleasant to deal with. Their service is fantastic. Very similar story to what John received with the Buck Forever warranty. Again, another one of the services that is fantastic. But I really hope you enjoyed my sort of overview review of the Victorinox Lumberjack. It's 84mm pattern. Unfortunately is now discontinued, along with the Walker, which is its, you know, the following on from that. Shame, because it's a very, very nice sort of model. You can still technically buy this, but it is advertised as My First Victorinox, which has the rounded over tip with no points. It's aimed more at kids, and they've got sort of animals on the scales, different designs for children, but it pretty much is exactly this. So you can buy it if you want to deal with the rounded off blade, but I'm not a huge fan of that. So I sort of glad I got this one on the secondary market, and really glad to have tried the warranty. Would recommend it to anyone that's thinking about doing it. Honestly, to be told up to 3 months to get it back, and then you get it back, you know, in just over 3, I'm really happy with what they provided. So I really hope you enjoyed this review and my experience of the Victorinox warranty. Please be sure to like, subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.